You're now tuned into the Lady Charmaine Live Show, and I'm your host, Lady Charmaine. And as always, I got another great interview for you today. And I tell you who it is coming up right after this. My guest today had a special delivery, but had no idea this delivery was right on time. This little bundle brought joy to millions of hearts around the world. Just check this out.
All of the glory belongs to you. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. All my worship, you deserve it.
Help me welcome the mother of Baby Ariyah. Help me welcome Miss Cristin Danae. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. How you doing?
No, the question is, how are you doing?
I'm here, still here. Grace of God.
Well, you have literally been, your baby has been all over the internet. So, how does it feel just to know over 2 million people have been
Mhm.
blessed by your baby?
It is it's overwhelming, but in a good way.
Mhm.
Me and my husband just Sunday is when it was posted, and just out of pure, a pure moment. But we're just real, like everywhere, even when I go to the hospital, it's like celebrity. That was your baby. I went to the salon. That was your baby. Can we take a picture? So it's been a blessing. It really has. Very, very much a blessing.
Now, even though the baby, it's funny how nothing just happens. And I remember when Bishop T.D. Jakes preached a message called Nothing Just Happens. Your baby was literally right on time. And it's what the world needed. I mean, to show the people who may be tired and weary of worship. When you can look at a 35-week-old baby whose hands are raised, it's nothing but the power of God. And as long as she had her hands raised and understood worship, with her eyes
Mhm.
closed. She
Yeah.
understood the proper stance. Because, Mama, I know you are a worshiper. Tell me a little bit about you and your worship.
Ooh, it's a lifestyle. It's something that I've been doing all my life, years, but it wasn't until I understood what worship really is. It's just that intimate time, that intimate connection with God. It's nothing that can be imitated. It's nothing that can be duplicated. But I've been a worship leader since far back as I can remember. Um, and it's just like when I'm singing, that's one thing, but worship, that takes me to just me and God. It's nothing rehearsed. um, but yes, and I've always sung to Ariyah when she was even in my stomach. So I don't know why I expected anything different, but yes, worship for me, like I said, is a lifestyle. Um, and it's how I connect with God. It's how I get away from everything in this world, even with this pandemic going on. Um, Worship for me is just all that I really know. And that we all should learn as like the baby, just seeing her with the Lord, like you said, raising her hands, something that people show you to do. She's never been out in the world, like she's still inside the hospital, so it's
All
nothing that
the
I could have taught
glory
her.
belongs
And that's why it
to
almost like took me out. I
you.
barely could sing as I was singing to her. I'm like,
You
seeing the
deserve
reaction, the response, and I was like, if
it.
I buckle here, that's gonna stop
You
stop her worship.
deserve
So I had to keep
it.
singing, and it was just amazing to see, man.
Now, one of the blessings is that, I know your mama.
Right, my mama.
That's right. I know your mama. Praise God. You know what I mean? Because, um, you know my family, which is really a
Right,
blessing. And so just
right.
to know that that is your baby, because I know where you guys come from. But I
Yeah.
want you to take us back to that moment when you actually went into labor.
Woo.
Well, first, what was the
So
pregnancy like? What was your pregnancy like?
My pregnancy was pretty good. I was not really sick. She didn't like salad. So
Mm,
it was the specific things, just pretty much salad and chicken. But my pregnancy was pretty good. One of the things that was a challenge, I had three fibroids that I had
mm,
forgot all about them. So I was a little bit in distress with that. I had some flare ups, but through the whole pregnancy, pretty much I was good. I wasn't having any back pains. So no, started swelling a little bit in my feet and hands, but pretty much a typical, pregnant symptoms. But that was pretty much it. But going into to labor, I was preterm on March the 1st. That night, I was having some pains, and this is my first, baby, our first experience. So that night I had greens. I put some greens on the stove and just prepping for the week. It was Saturday. That was Saturday night, and then I just said I gotta finish. I gotta do this. You know how women are. We have to finish our assignment, our task. And I said to my husband, I'm having these sharp pains, and he said, "Oh wow." And he said, "Well, let's go lay down." And so, because it was late, and then I went, got in the bed, and the pain was still coming. And when I just rose up and I grabbed his hand, and I was like, "I can't take this." So I kept just trying. I went to the restroom, um, and I noticed some fluid coming after, and then the pain. So I called my mom, and my mom was like, "Call the." She said, "Call the advice, line and call me back." So I called, explained to them the symptoms that I was having, and they said to come into labor and delivery, not knowing that I was in labor or
mm.
anything. So when I got there, I got my husband up, he in the bed snoring, and I'm like, "How you gonna sleep? I'm in pain."
Oh my
And he jumped up when I said, "We gotta go to the hospital." And so I get to, we get there. The labor and delivery was on the third floor. Came to the third floor, got off. When we get there, the whole team is there, and I'm
God.
like, "Oh, this is just so so nice."
Mm.
They're waiting for us. Get there, come to the room. The nurse assesses me, and she says, "Miss Ware, you are in labor." And I was like, "What? Labor?" Preterm
Mm.
labor. And my husband looked at me. He was like, "The greens are on."
About to about
I
them
was
greens.
like, "Greens." So I was like, "Yeah, those greens, we put them on low anyway." But so yeah, they assessed me and they were like, "Well, we're gonna have to admit you." And I filled my paperwork out, did all of that. They got me to my room. So I was in labor and delivery. They just wanted to get the pains down. They wanted to see if I could, they can keep Ariyah in as
Mhm.
long as they could.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then yeah, hooked me up to all my IV, the medicine, got that going. I had no, food, couldn't eat any food. And then the next day rolled by. They started getting my pain under control, moved me to antepartum. And so from there, I was good. They disconnected my IV and all the medicines. They wanted to see how I would do without medication. The third day comes, and by this time, I'm good. I'm in my room. I'm able to eat now. I have my friends. Two friends came to see me, husband and wife, and then my husband. He came to surprise me on my lunch, and I was fine. We were joking and eating. So he left. They left, and after that, I went to the restroom. And when I came back from the restroom, the pain started coming back.
Mm.
And as the pain came back, I was just like, "Oh God." So I texted my husband. I said, the contractions are back. They were connecting me, hooking me up back with the IVs and the medications, magnesium. And then my husband was talking. He called me. My husband called, and then he was having a full conversation. I said, "I can't talk. The pain is just too much." So I threw the phone down. Next thing I know, the doctor came in. They checked to see how far I was, and I was only 1 centimeter dilated. So the pains are still excruciating. At this point, I said, "Throw me out the window! Throw me out that window! That window!" And the nurse was like, I can't throw you out the window. I said, no, I can't make it. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. And the pain got worse. And so at this point, they're like, well, we're going to have to move her to labor and delivery. I can hear it. It's amazing when you're going through all the pain, you're still conscious, you can still hear and you're aware. But
Hmm.
I said, can you guys let my husband know where I'm going to be, where you're taking me? So we get to labor and delivery. I'm screaming down the hallway and I'm trying to breathe through it. Got got the blood pressure cuff to me. I'm all hot. I'm going like sweating. So we get to the room, I guess, because I'm in the bed. They're wheeling me. We get to the room. Finally, I hear my husband. He's pleading the blood of Jesus. He's like, oh, Jesus, Jesus. And all I just remember is like, shut up. And I never in a million years, I repented. We know that the blood still works, but I was just so much pain. I just wanted to squeeze
Hmm.
like his hand. He told me that he had a prayer shawl at the time. I thought he was trying to put covers on me, and I'm like, it's hot. Take this off. Take this off. And next thing I know, I started having the fluid coming out. And then the next thing I sing, something's coming. And all of a sudden, Ariyah, my baby, she popped out. Like everything is still inside of me.
Wait a minute. Why are you rolling down to go into labor and delivery?
Yeah, so like we're in the room at this point,
Hmm.
and they're just getting me prepared to get my pain levels down. They're not prepared for delivery. Um, and mind you, this is March 3rd. That earlier that day, I was fine. She was breech, but she had turned around by the evening time.
Mm.
So yes, still on the table. We're in labor and delivery in the room, but they're just getting my pain levels down, and then all of a sudden I'm like, something's coming! I'm screaming at this point, and Ariyah pops out, and the nurse actually caught her because it was so quick.
Ooh.
Because I couldn't feel, I didn't know what it was that was
Hmm.
rushing, but I said, I think it's my baby. And then my husband, I can hear him say, Jesus. Uh, that was it was funny and then it was traumatic all at once. It was like
She just came on out.
she just came on. I was like, "Ready or not, here I come."
She said, "Hello, world." Wow,
And
I'm here.
I hadn't seen her at all. Wasn't able to see her, but she did come out crying, and
Praise
yeah,
God.
yes,
So her lungs was strong.
yeah. Her lungs were strong. She like I didn't really get to hear anything afterwards because I was like relieved
Hmm.
from the pain. So I'm sitting
Hmm.
there talking to the nurse and the doctor, and I said, I was just like, woo, I had no pain. It's amazing how all of that pain
Hmm. Came out with
for
that
those.
baby. Now you got some
And my mom
joy.
said that is one of the things that's profound that my mom said is that that's the most pain that you feel that when it stops, that's the most rewarding feeling after.
Mm,
Is pregnancy. That's like
right.
the worst pain, but the best feeling after,
Hmm.
because that reward of your child being born into this world. So yeah, that was
Because you and I both had babies at 25 weeks, both weighed 1 pound 9 ounces.
yes. Oh
My
my
daughter,
goodness.
she ended up her lungs wasn't as strong. She had to be on steroids to help develop her lungs. So that's why
Wow.
it's such a miracle that she was able to come out crying and you was able to hear that,
Wow.
which is really a blessing. So how long has she been in the hospital so far?
She has been in there. It's 2.5 months now going on. So she was born March 3rd, and yeah, she's over 70 days old. I guess you want to say.
So when did they say that she would possibly be released?
My due date. So my due date was June 13th.
Okay.
So yeah, we're looking at that, praying for that. She had a couple of surgeries. So the next surgery will determine um, uh, yeah, that will put her, back together again. And yeah, we wait for we wait for God at this point.
Amen to that. And what a day that's going to be. I remember the day when I
Yeah.
brought my baby home. It's like, what a day. She came home like 2 weeks before her due date, which was a blessing. But what a
Wow.
day that is going to be. So,
Yeah.
did you record yourself singing to her every day, or was that just one of the days that you just recorded?
Yeah, usually when I sing to her, it's random. Like I'll get there and I look to see how peaceful, calm she is and sing to her. Or when I'm holding her, do the skin to skin, which is a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's sporadically I videotape her, but this moment is funny because I wasn't videotaping her, so her hands are literally up longer than that actual video. So um, it was just so amazing that to see her do that. I said, "Oh wow, let me record this. This is special." Um, and then yeah, that's how that's how I recorded her. Just by the moment, like I'm like, wow, I gotta capture this. So yeah,
And you capturing that moment blessed millions. Because I know the last
yeah,
time I looked, you were like at 2.2 million. Um, you were like at 2.2 million views.
yeah, wow.
And so, I mean, your video has definitely taken off. It's been shared. Who are some of the people that contacted you?
So let's see the first. So I was what is so funny is after before I shared the video, it was private. You know, our pages, are private. I was very private about the whole situation, and social media didn't even know or was aware. Some of them people, my family
I
didn't
was,
even
when I
know.
seen it, I was like, oh, she had a baby.
Yes, and
When I seen you posted,
so
I was like, oh my God, when did this happen?
everything. I mean, and that is amazing how much can happen in one day, hour, second. But yeah, so some of my friends, close friends in the Bay Area, had reached out first and asked if I could make it public because there were some women that they knew would be blessed by it. And so I opened it to the public. I went to the privacy and publicly opened
Hmm.
my page. So I think that the next morning, that's Monday morning, I woke up. It was around 6 a.m. and I seen a tag on Instagram, and my Instagram was saying JJ Harrison, which is the recording artist
Hmm.
of Deserve It. Um, and I was like, wow. I told my husband, wait, babe, wake up, look at this. JJ Harrison is looking for me. He's trying to find out who the mom of the baby that worshiping. And so he was the first to contact me. And so his wife earlier in the afternoon had contacted me on Instagram, the DM, and she asked me to call her. And then the next thing I see, John P. Keys has posted it, and everyone's saying, "Did you see this? John P. Keys just put you on blast." And, it's just amazing. And those were the first two that I could remember. But yeah,
Because
amazing.
even Martha Menizzi even shared your video, and I mean
Yes,
now it's on what God's gift. I mean your baby is
yes,
now literally everywhere, and you
yes.
blessing people all over the world. Because you told me you even got some inboxes from people from other countries.
Yes, I got England. Yes, was it yesterday? Some a guy from England and also Trinidad and Tobago,
Mm-hmm.
South Africa. People from Ohio, New York. Saw that Steve Harvey shared it on his FM show on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
That was like amazing. Just to see the world is being shaken and moved by a simple moment of pure worship with a mother and her daughter. Um, just simply amazing.
Look, yo, baby.
My baby.
Yo, child that God brought into to the world, really, for such a time as this. And it brought so
Yeah,
much joy. And God is literally, during this whole pandemic, is letting us know who He is,
yeah,
even through a little baby. And as
yeah,
the Bible says, the little children shall lead them even in worship. And it
yeah.
started with little baby Ariyah, who is supposed to literally still be in your stomach.
Exactly.
She is
Yes,
literally supposed to be
yes,
in
ma'am.
your belly right now and worshiping God
Yes.
outside. Who said she's supposed to be doing that? If people really understood the magnitude
Come
of
on.
that, People don't
Yeah.
even understand when you have a baby that's born that early. We see everything come in. We see their eyebrows come in. We see their
Yes.
little breasts. We see everything
Yes.
on our babies
Yes.
come in because everything that we don't see in the womb, God allowed you to be able to see,
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
outside, and me as
Yes.
well. So, what message do you think God is sending through your daughter?
Man, that any time, any season of your life, you don't have to be in the building because we're going through the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
where people can't go to the actual physical building. But you can be in a time in a season where it's so hard, but if you just worship him and see his hand move in anything, you don't have to be in a building, you don't have to have a formality, but just to simply lift your hands up, that is an extension, of our worship. That's a form of our worship, and you don't even have to say a word, because sometimes even with our daughter, she can't even talk. She's
Mm-hmm.
35 weeks, and then all it is a simple lift your hands. And that really shook me. I mean, it took everything in me not to break in that hospital. And I had to remember I'm in the NICU, so there's babies, there's nurses. They're not going to understand or see what they're going to think something's wrong. So yeah, just I believe that the Lord wanted to use her as a baby to shake the world in a world of racism, in a world of all kind of crises, killing, violence. Let's take a moment to see what the supernatural looks like. And he used our daughter, and it's just amazing. Each day I wake up, there's something new. And when I get to see her, all she's doing is sleeping and looking for milk. or she's and what's also profound is that ultrasounds, like you said, we get to see what they fully look like. On her ultrasound, she
Mm-hmm.
was always moving. She always had her hands up, or she's always moving her legs. But the most that me and my husband were able to look at is that she was fully formed. Usually at 25 weeks, the nurses are saying babies look like aliens, even in your womb. They're not fully formed, but Ariyah had all of her features. You can see my
Mm-hmm.
little nose. She has my nose, and it made it a little bit easier because it's rough. It's rough for any mother to experience that type of birth, let alone not be able to take their child home. So I know the message. There's many messages out there, but in a time like this, all you need to do is just praise God, thank Him for everything, even if it's hard. I feel like that's the message He has to the world. Yeah.
Well, I just think that it's such a beautiful message, and he is steady letting us know and giving us light in darkness. And one of the best joys we've gotten was your daughter.
Yes. Yes.
Just he's just speaking to all of us, and I just thank God for the breakthroughs that he's giving us, and especially
Yes.
on worship. Anybody could praise, but
Yes.
not everybody can worship,
Come
and that
on.
that
Yes.
worship is an intimate, it's a knowing. So your baby
Yes.
know him. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because
Come on.
because of course, he created her in your womb, so she
Yes.
was just worshiping her creator,
Yes.
earlier than
Yes.
most
Come
people
on.
would. So,
That's
so
the
she
same
just
thing I said.
recognized,
Yes.
because he said, if
He's
you
her
don't worship, I
creation.
thank you. I'll make a rock cry out. And so she understood
Jesus.
who her creator was. I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on the show. And I
Thank
was so
you.
surprised that you had a baby. I was like, oh my God, when this baby had to say, wait, when was she pregnant?
Well, I
so
did have a picture of me being that was the last post, was I was pregnant with her, and it was in February. But I think on my post I said the last post that I had, I was pregnant of her. That was the picture. So I know it is all of a sudden
And so
there.
I missed that post. So I missed that one. Or may not have known that you were like pregnant because you were still so early. Because I know with
Yes,
me, when I had my daughter, a lot of people didn't even know I was pregnant because I was still so small because I had her at
mom.
25 weeks. And so, people, you look like you gained weight, but you don't necessarily look like you like pregnant. People might just think, oh,
Exactly.
that's happy weight. Because you've only been married. Is it 2 years? How long you been married? How long?
Um, no, we're the today makes 8 months.
Is it 8 months?
Honeymoon
Oh,
baby.
oh my goodness.
Today makes 8 months.
I don't know why I thought you guys were married like two years. How long you guys dated?
It's a year. A
It was,
year. Been knowing each other 7 years. We dated a year and was engaged one year.
I don't know why. I don't know when because you was at Eric's graduation, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
his party. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, because we sat at the you sat at my table, so that's why.
Yep.
Yeah, I
I
don't know
know.
why. Yeah, I don't know why I thought. Oh, girl, I don't know why I thought that you guys were already married. Maybe because y'all was together for so long. I just
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah. Well, so y'all was newlyweds, newlywed baby, honeymoon baby, because that's just what he do. Ain't that what
That's
the Lord does? Right on time.
yes. Doing
So
what married couples do, what he created us to do.
right. Amen to that. Amen right there. Well, girl, again, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really enjoyed you. And ladies
Thank
and
you.
gentlemen, y'all make sure if you have not seen the video, it is going viral. Share the video. Let's get up to 10 million views. This is a video that the world need to see. And again, thank you so much, lady, for coming on the show. I really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Yeah, and look, and you make sure you come back now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, make sure you come back now. And I'll talk to you soon. God bless you.
God bless you.
Bye bye.